Oh boy. Oh god. Let me get situated. Oh, I have a viewer. I don't know if I should wait to see if people show up because like I'm not a YouTuber, so like the actual. Oh, shut up! Stop! See, now it's put good. Hold on. Stop. And I'm also not an expert, so I'm not gonna like try to sound all smart. If you're coming for smart talk, that's not what you're gonna see. But I'm sure we're all aware by now that Trisha Paytas, I don't even want to say her name, it's so annoying, has made some videos coming out saying that she has DID, or multiple personality disorder, as she called it, which is so funny because I'm going to start right off the bat and say that she's obviously wrong. She literally said that multiple personality disorder and DID were two separate disorders, which is completely false. That's literally impossible. They are the exact same disorder. It was changed. And multiple personality disorder is highly outdated. So immediately, right off the bat, wrong. So that's not my thing. I watched her first video, and I watched the video where she's telling off, what's his face, Anthony or something? I don't really. Is that who it was? I'm not sure. She also said some really rude things about Dissociated, which pisses me off because I'm a huge fan of Dissociated. I've watched them for a long time. When I was first getting into researching this stuff, they were and still are the #1 channel on YouTube for that information. And honestly, kind of devastating, to be honest, to hear someone talk about that whole system in such a negative way. So that's bullshit. She got a lot of fire for saying that they looked crazy and that some people with DID look crazy. And the thing about that is, you can only develop DID or OSDD or really any type of dissociative disorder from really extreme levels of trauma, often repeated trauma as well. And, it might not be extreme to everyone. What one child might think is extreme, another child might be just fine. But it is, it's a requirement. You can't have DID without trauma. So I don't know why, if she really believes she has it, that she would go out of her way to call someone crazy or say really mean things about them, because obviously if you've been through trauma, you may be sensitive and you've already gone through a lot of pain. So to say such awful things about someone who had to have gone through lots of pain to be where they are is really just awful. And I don't know what she thought was going to happen. I mean, again, she's literally messing with one of the most well-known, most well-respected DID and mental health YouTubers on the platform. So I have no idea what she thought she was doing with that. But here's the real question. So does she have DID or not? Well, first of all, the answer is we're not going to discuss it because it's not an issue. I don't know her. I'm not here to be someone's psychologist or therapist. But here's what I will tell you based off of years and years of research and some of my own personal experience, as obviously I have another personality in my head. And I'm not diagnosed with anything. So I'm going to tell you what I truly, truly think. I think the reason that her video is bad, all of them that she's made, I haven't even watched the one where she says there's a switch. I'm not even there yet. I'm not sure if I can stomach it, so I haven't seen it. But the thing is, the reason that what she did was so bad is because she said that she had this disorder, but she literally doesn't know anything about it. And I really do mean almost nothing. It's almost like she watched this one video that came out with this guy interviewing these people, and she related to little bits and pieces of it. So she thinks that she, And I get it, because when I was trying to figure out what was going on with me, same exact thing. It's like, okay, I literally have another personality in my head. And when you look that up, what's the first thing that shows up? DID. So, of course, I completely understand why, that's where your brain would go. Um, but here's the thing. So much of what she described, it's not that it couldn't be linked to DID, but it could be linked to so many other things as well. And I don't know. I I had a way that I wanted to say it when I was thinking about doing this, but I can't think I can't think what my point was. It's just that I don't know, like it just doesn't, like, watching her videos, it really doesn't seem like she has a grasp on what it means to have DID. I don't know if she really understands what it means to have different alters and what the difference is between an alter and a fragment. Um, and just different parts, like there's so many different, avenues. And to me, honest to God, if it was a dissociative disorder and it's not something like BPD or what the other possibilities that people were mentioning, to me, from pure personal experience and very minimal research that I've done, I would guess that maybe she experiences some fragments of some kind and she's labeling them as, like, I don't know. Does that make sense? Because a fragment is different from an alter. Because if you have DID and you have really distinct alters, I mean, they're different people with different names, different personalities, ages, appearances, different sexualities, religions, opinions. They can have depending on how deep down it is, like inside. Like there's so much to it. Fragments, however, from my understanding, are much more bit one-dimensional. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but they're very much less distinct, and they tend to often serve a function or a purpose, or have kind of like one thing that they like focus on. And that would make complete sense, because she was talking about how, oh, when she wants to feel confident, like this one comes out, or this one really likes food and like this one comes out. And to me, that, especially since they don't seem to like have their own distinct personalities, and they all are kind of like, well, this is Trisha's body, but we're just coming out, so to speak. To me, that's what it sounds like it's the closest to. And again, that's very minimal research, and that's if anything she's saying is valid, because so much of what she said was just so painfully incorrect. And I wish I could remember all of the things that she said as well to like explain why every single thing was wrong. But I mean, you know. And I think the way she went about it was wrong. I think it's very unusual that she's never talked about any of this in her life. And as soon as this video comes out on YouTube and goes very viral and is successful and trending on YouTube about DID, excuse me, then she suddenly makes a long venting video about, oh, I suddenly am announcing that I have DID. It's just very unusual to me. And I also find it unusual that she kind of went out of her way. Oh, that's a thing. So, oh my God, this was something that I haven't seen anyone talk about. Honestly, I haven't seen anyone else talk about this, but this tripped me up the most, because she said in her first video, which, by the way, oh my God, there's just so many avenues you could take this. Like, first of all, she made a video called Meet the Alters. And it's so painfully obvious to me that she really doesn't know anything about DID, and she probably saw other YouTubers use that title and took it without actually knowing what those videos are supposed to be, because it's supposed to be literally meeting them. It's when, usually from what I've seen, it's when alters come out to film a video so that you're literally meeting them. It's not the host, so to speak, like telling you about their altars. That's not what that is. If it's literally called a meet the altars, usually they'll be on camera. So I thought that was unusual. But then she tried to explain herself by saying, well, I can't make them come out. Like, I don't really, she literally said, like, I don't really switch. But then she went on and on about the different reasons and ways that they come out. So she is saying at the same time, I don't really do the switching thing. But she's also saying, well, they come out. So I'm confused because when an altar switches, to my understanding, it's when one altar is in the front and another one is in the back, and someone wants to switch out, so they come out to the front. So switching out and coming out is the same thing. So when she says they come out, if that's not talking about switching, then I don't know what she's talking about. Like, is she talking about co-fronting? Does it mean that they're co-conscious? Is it what's that thing where it's like passive influence? Like it's just bizarre, like, because it's just, I don't know. So that's confusing. That's confusing to me. And then on top of it, she got so much backlash, and a lot of people were saying that they thought it was fake because there's never been a switch or anything caught on camera, which I'm not going to say that that's a reason to say someone is fake, because I'm just not going to. Lots of people that are in systems do not film their switches. I can't make my girlfriend come out whenever I want. I'd love to. I wish I could. I wish that she could. But it kind of seems like most of the time we are literally I should preface this right now by saying that I'm not diagnosed with anything. I don't normally use these terms to describe my relationship with my girlfriend because I'm not diagnosed. I've never claimed to be diagnosed. I've never claimed to have DID. I don't have DID. I have some form of a dissociative disorder, and it could be OSCD. 1A or B, or like it could just be some, like, it could be anything else. Like, I really have no idea, to be honest with you. But like, just for the sake of understanding, like what I'm trying to say for the people that do understand the terms, usually me and my girlfriend are both co-conscious and co-fronting essentially most of the time when I'm alone. And then when I'm not alone and I'm with someone, whether it's a video camera chat or real life in person, if I'm directly talking to someone, I cannot make Honey come out, and I cannot make us be there at the same time. It doesn't work. So not being able to produce that on the spot doesn't mean that someone is faking. And I don't think that, those comments were entirely necessary, because then other systems who see that are like, what does that mean that I'm faking? Like, so whatever. So I'm not saying that that was ever proof that she was faking in the first place. However, a little unusual that she got so much backlash about it and went out of her way to be like, I'm sorry, I just can't make it happen on camera after at least a decade, probably like closer to 2 decades of being someone on YouTube. And then like 3 days later, suddenly having a video where she's like, oh, we just caught a switch. Yeah, like never happens, but it's crazy. It just seems a little bit suspicious. And I haven't even watched it yet, and I don't want to because sorry, my throat's terrible. I keep talking and I have nothing to drink. I haven't watched it yet, and I don't want to because I don't know. I hear that it's equally offensive, and at this point I wanted to stop. I'm not devaluing her feelings at all. Her feelings are valid. She may very well have different parts of herself, and that's completely valid. And I get it. I think if anything, if it's not, because she's done so many awful things in the past that for all I know, 100% this is garbage, like most of the things she said before. But giving her the benefit of the doubt, if anything, she's probably just confused because I think she just heard about this thing and maybe she really wants to identify with it because she sees people that she feels similarly towards, and she's like, oh, I'm like that, I want to fit into that, but it's not quite the same fit. And I get that, because that's exactly what happened when I started looking into things to figure out who my girlfriend was and why she existed and why she showed up. And it was kind of like the same thing of, well, it's kind of like this, but it's not really like this, and in order to have this disorder you got to meet this criteria, and I don't, and then, well, it's closer to this one, and I guess if you looked at it this way, then yada yada yada. So if anything, I think she's just confused, but I, I can't even give her the benefit of the doubt, because even if there's a chance that like this is really serious to her, she went about it such the wrong way. She needed to do research. Like even if she was intentionally faking it for attention and to get people talking about her, even if you're going into it and trying to fake it, you should still do research so that when you fake it, it looks accurate. And that's not what it was. I mean, you had to know the video was going to be bad when it started out saying that multiple personality disorder and dissociative identity disorder were two different things. And then when people called her out on it, she doubled down and she was like, you got that wrong. Those are two very different things. And let me tell you, they are not two different things. I have no idea where she got that information, because they're just not two different things. I have no idea like where that was coming from. So yeah, anyway, I don't know if I have anything else to say about it. I mean, it's a shit show. I've been enjoying the drama. Love seeing the DID community band together to, kind of like tackle this issue. I feel the most for the dissociated system. Nin and everyone they're all such sweethearts. And it just kind of really upsets me that they were even dragged into this. It's just so unfortunate. And I'm trying to think of what even, it's so funny because all I know is that like the 90% of the backlash was that Trisha said, oh, well, this person looks crazy. And so I know that she watched Nin, and I forget who else was in. Was it Kyle? Was it Nin and Kyle, and then like a third, Little. And I'm trying to think of what Trisha would have seen in those videos that would have made her, think, oh, this person looks crazy. Sorry, I'm playing with the tail. And all I can think is like what? Honestly, like that's the weirdest thing to me about it, is like, or just saying that people that have DID look crazy in general. I guess it's because I also have a different personality in my head, that it, like, to me, it all seems so normal that I go back and look at like that interview video and I'm like, what? Like, what is so weird that like made her think that she had to say that? Like, honestly, what? Like, was it the Little? Like, because I thought that part was really cute. Like, was it Kyle? Like, was it the different accent? Like, what about these people, look crazy to you, especially if you're claiming that you have it also. Like, I really don't. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't agree with people saying that, oh, she's fake, like, this is all bullshit, and you can't possibly have any of these things because of da 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 da. Because that's not wrong. Not wrong. It is wrong. It's not right. And again, that sucks for people who really do have, these kinds of disorders. And if they see parts of themselves in her video, then when they read all those comments, they're gonna, hesitate and think back like to themselves, like, oh God, well, am I faking then? Like, I thought I had this, but if people are saying that this means I can't have it, then am I wrong? Like, and that's not fair. So I've heard that that's a big problem in the DID community in general, and it always has been, is like people trying to search out fakes. I always think all the time, like, I hope I never get popular enough that people will actually watch my videos or see my pictures or look at our accounts. Because again, I do not have DID, and I never ever claim to, but regardless of what I have, I'm always so worried that, our content will fall into the wrong hands one day and I'll just have a mob of people coming at me like, excuse me, this is impossible because which it's not, by the way. I mean, I've done research for years and I still don't really know, I don't, it would take a lifetime of like, I'd have to go get a degree to really truly have all the info to like make the judgment of what it is or isn't, which I don't care. But to tell someone, even if you hate them, even if you don't like them, like if you don't like her, same, like I get it. Like, I'm not being like we should like support it or condone it at all, but when you tell someone, anyone, that flat out that I don't believe you, I think you're lying, I think what you're saying is fake, especially if it's something that's linked to trauma. I mean, the damage of that, especially if they're not sound of mind or they take things to heart, could be devastating. And I think, me personally, I'm at a point in my life now where I've lived with it for so long that I don't think that it would do anything detrimental, but fuck, even like a day or two ago, it's been at least 6, 7 years, and just yesterday I had a meltdown where it was like, I don't think this is real. I don't think that my girlfriend is real. I don't think she exists. I think that this is somehow just not real after so long, you know. So I still struggle with it. So for then if someone ever came up to me or like a group of people were like, hi, we all know that this is not real and you're faking and da da da, you should be ashamed of yourself and all that stuff, like, maybe it would really bother me. I don't know. I just think that's harmful to like tell someone, hey, your entire reality is a lie. Like, so I don't agree with that. And that's not the right way to go about it. I just think either it's a completely different disorder entirely. Like some people were saying BPD or like whatever, pathological liar, narcissistic person. There's like different things. Like it's either something entirely different or it's something similar and it is a dissociative disorder, but she's confused and she doesn't know which one specifically because she never did research, and that's the problem. There was no research done. She dived into a topic and she used all these terms incorrectly and she said things that weren't true because she just took all the bits and pieces of things that she related to or resonated with her, and then she's like, oh well, I know all about this. So anyway, that's my thoughts on it. I wish I could think of like more specific things and like really go on a rant, but I think that's mainly all I had to say. I do find it very annoying. It's very interesting to see something that I know a decent amount about, like, be in the public eye. It's very unusual to see so many people talking about DID. And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's tough, but I just hope she stops in general. You know what I mean? Like, I just hope that she stops because, like, just in general, like, all of her videos, like, it just drives me nuts. And I'm wondering how far she's gonna take it too, because there's been other things in the past I know where she's like said things that were really controversial, and then they kind of like just got swept under the rug. And I just wonder how long. How far is it going to go? Like, is she ever going to apologize? Is she ever going to come back and say, oh, yeah, I was wrong about this and that? Probably not. Just some of the stuff she was saying. The first time I watched the video, I watched it with someone else, and I literally had a like pencil and paper, and I was doing a tally mark every single time that she said something incorrect or like potentially harmful, and it was like so many checks. So many checks. I wish I had the book, my notebook, and I would like go and flip the page, but I don't know where it is. But yep, I think that might be it. Trying to make sure. Think if I missed anything. I don't think so. So that's my thoughts on the drama. If anyone else has any input, feel free to you know, let me know or send me a message or comment on it wherever you found this or something, because I'd love to discuss. um, but I think that's it. Have I said everything I needed to say? I think so. And everyone stop being a dick. And you know what? There's so many different people talking about like their input and their 2 cents and what, people could learn from it. And I honestly think that the biggest thing that everyone should take away from this is a lesson that for a lot of people is apparently really hard to understand, which is when you don't like someone, especially when it's a celebrity, because when it's a celebrity, we all say things really, really bluntly because we think, oh, well, they're famous. I'll never even see it. They won't care. Don't say things that are really, really mean or like offensive or like just shitty, because it's not going to hurt. I mean, it might if, it's someone like her, but in general, it's not going to hurt the people you want it to hurt. Like, all the people calling her out for faking and saying like, you should be ashamed of like trying to self-diagnose and that stuff. Like, you're not hurting her, but you're definitely hurting all of the people in the world that, do those things and relate to any of it. You know what I mean? And that is, what, actually, that is something I forgot about, but that's one thing I'll say. One last thing really about the ID specifically. So many people were giving her backlash for self-diagnosing. And actually, I can't believe I even forgot about this, because this is like really, really important, because this topic got into like the spotlight in a group online. A really large group of people saw it. So I think a lot of the people that were, hold on. I think a lot of the people that were talking about it were actually people who really cared about mental health issues in general, but didn't know a lot about DID themselves. So the whole self-diagnosing issue, a lot of people saw that, and in general, with mental health, it's not good to self-diagnose. It's not good to self-diagnose with any health issue, mental or physical. And so a lot of people, badgered Trisha for that and said, no one should be doing that, like, whatever. And I totally get it. The issue, though, which is the most important, because I know there's a lot of people that probably deal with this, is DID is one of the hardest disorders to get a diagnosis for. It's really, really hard to get that diagnosis, and it's hard for so many reasons, because for a lot of people, it's hard to get a diagnosis of anything. They might not have even seen a doctor. They might have seen a doctor, but, a lot of mental health professionals today still don't believe that DID is a real disorder after so many years, at least 30. That's been 30 years since they changed it, right? That's at least 30 years of it being in the DSM, and a lot of, people in that field still don't believe to this day that it's a real disorder. So a lot of people really do have it, but they're going to get diagnoses, and they don't have access to people who will give them that diagnosis, or, they can't afford to see someone that will give them that diagnosis. Sometimes it gets misdiagnosed as a lot of other things because people don't want to believe that's what it is, or they, again, don't think it's real, so they'll try to say it's this or that. So with most things, self-diagnosis is bad, but in general, with DID or OSDD, I'm not saying that, you should buckle down and be like, I have this and no one can tell me that I can't. However, if someone has done their research and, DID's got pretty specific symptoms that most disorders don't have, so if someone's done the research and they think that that's what they have, there's nothing wrong with self-diagnosing and saying, hey, I think I have this disorder, I have this disorder, because it reaches a point where facts are just facts, and you know. So I think that was wrong. And again, that's one of those situations where people that were saying that, they were aiming it towards Trisha Paytas, but all it's doing is hurting, hundreds of thousands of people out there who, identify as a system and identify as having the idea but don't have a diagnosis, because they are still valid as systems without a diagnosis. And, that's not the problem. In this instance, self-diagnosing was not the problem. The problem was self-diagnosing, doing no research, and not looking for any information really anywhere. In fact, even turning your nose up at information that was being presented to you, as she so eloquently trashed, talked, Dissociate did, which is one of the number one educational, content creators on YouTube about DID. So don't bag on people for, if someone says, they're a self-diagnosed system, don't, give them shit for it, because it's just stupid, because you don't know how hard it is to get that diagnosis, and that's it. So aim your stuff towards her and how dumb she was being. That's a bad word to use, but how ignorant she was being and uneducated, and let's just leave it at that. So okay, now I think I'm done. I'm kind of sad because I have nothing else to say about the matter, but I'm kind of bored. How's everyone doing with this whole isolation thing? It's so funny because it's like, between my mental health issues and me being an introvert and me wanting to spend most of my time with my girlfriend, who I'm really can only be with if I'm alone, I want to spend most of my time inside, but then when you're told that, you really can't go outside, it really makes you want to go outside. And my mental health hasn't been good lately, so man, I've been bored. Darn, I really need to start talking to more people, don't I? Because now I'm like, I don't want to stop live streaming to the 1.5 people that are watching. But I guess that's it. I'll probably let this upload as a video on YouTube, and then maybe I'll cut off. I'll either go in and literally edit it and cut it, and then post it to be just the stuff about her, or I'll add in the description talk about her as from this point to this point. But I guess that's it. Too long, don't read. Trisha Paytas is really ignorant and annoying, and don't be an asshole to people. That was the moral of the story, and I can't wait to see where it goes. I kind of love it. I don't. I mean, I don't love it at all. It's horrible, but and honestly, no one should be giving her any attention. But it's God damn it, this damn virus, man. We're all in our houses, and it's boring. And then this girl just posts these videos that are just so awful in the most interesting way. And she seems, it's mind-boggling to me that she had the audacity to call other people crazy, because if anything, I don't agree with calling anyone that term, but I mean, she certainly fits it, in my opinion, much more than any of the people she was mentioning or discussing. So, oh, and I feel so bad for Encina. Encina was Trisha Paytas's ex, which I had no idea. I also didn't know that Encina came back to YouTube. I don't know how I missed that. I swear I've looked up her name before, periodically, to see if she ever posted anything, and then I never saw that she had come back. She hadn't been on in years, and then I looked her up recently, and it's she's been back for a year. So that's awesome. I didn't know that, but I saw that she came back on Twitter. She hadn't posted since a year ago at least, probably longer, or maybe longer, I don't know. But a day ago, she came online because a bunch of people kept trying to show her the video. And I feel bad. So I feel bad for her because she's been going through such a hard time, and her system has been going through a hard time, I imagine. And just I'm gonna say it really bold. I'm not comparing them as far as severity or like, which one's worse, but I feel like just for like the sake of the analogy, I feel like Trisha Paytas saying, "Oh, like I know all about DID. Like my ex like had it." It's just like when people are like, "Oh, yeah, I'm not racist. I have like a black friend or like whatever." You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Like it's just terrible. Anyway. It's just terrible. That's all I had to say. Is it? It's just terrible. It's really annoying. Um, okay, now I swear I'm done. Sorry, I just totally forgot about that as well. My throat hurts, so I'm definitely gonna uh, get off. But thanks for watching or saying hi if you stopped in. I'm not saying hi because there's no comments, but like thanks for like stopping in. I hope everyone enjoyed my rant. I'm gonna go get a drink of water because I'm sure you can literally hear how I'm dying. Not literally, but just from needing a drink. And that's it. I hope everyone's doing okay. Keep yourself safe, guys. If your mental health's been worse because of everything going on in the world, I'm sorry. I'm with you. I wish you the best of luck. Find ways to occupy your mind and, be active and go out in very small ways if you're self-isolating and social distancing. Like, I don't know how it is for other people, but where I live, like, there's almost no one outside, and it'll start to be prettier outside with, like, spring coming and stuff. So I've been going for walks to, like, see the trees start to blossom and stuff. And it's like, that's safe. Like, I don't think you have, unless you're sick, then, or you think you may be sick, then you should stay inside. But I think if you're just trying to like not catch it, I think you can leave your house. You just can't like be around or with people. So like don't stay inside. For me, it's made my depression worse, and all I've wanted to do is stay inside. Don't stay outside, or don't stay inside. Go outside. Go for walks. Do something. I don't like dogs, but if you like dogs, go pet a puppy. Dogs are very cute. I just don't. Animals, sensory disorder. My boy is cute though. My boy. This is going so off topic. I'm definitely on the verge of like dissociating, if that's even the right word. I could never be a YouTuber. Can you imagine? Like, oh my god. All right, I guess I'm stalling. I guess I better go do actually something. Thank you to anyone who's in case anyone else does watch this. Thank you to anyone who's been supporting me. Speaking of being depressed, I've been very depressed lately, as I'm sure is a surprise to no one that knows me. This is less about Trisha drama for if any strangers ever find this, and more for actual friends. But thank you for the support. I'm trying to do the best I can. Honey's doing the best she can. I feel very bad about what went down a night ago. But it's fine. Everything's fine. I'm working on it. It's been really tough, but she's helped a lot, and I'm very lucky and grateful and honored that my girlfriend is the person that she is. 'Cause the funny thing is, again, and this isn't about DID, because I don't believe I have DID. So this is just like any kind of DID, OSDD, two Ds, OSDD, other dissociative. I can't speak English. DID, OSDD, any other like dissociating disorders, fragments, parts, splitting, like whatever you deal with, it's fascinating the way that your brain creates things, and your brain creating something first of all, doesn't make it imaginary. I mean, we exist in our own brains. And I think that's something that whether you have DID or a dissociative disorder, it's such a hard word for me to say, or you don't, like, if you're a singular person, like with a singular personality, you exist in your head. That's where your personality is. So if someone has more than one personality and it's in their head, that doesn't mean it's not real, because all of our personalities are in our heads. So, you know, for people who have more than one, they are all very real and they're all very valid, and they deserve to be acknowledged and respected and treated like people, because they are all people. I mean, some are more, distinct than others, and for some people it may not be other people. It might just be, again, like different parts or fragments and pish posh, and some alters are not even human, and you could get into it. But the point is, they're all people, as far as they all have real valid identities that deserve to be respected regardless of how fleshed out or not they are. My point is, because obviously what I posted on social media recently does not reflect that, so I obviously take that all back. I mean, I can't take it back, but like, I regret saying it. But my point is, for someone who doesn't have DID, I should dissociate a lot. That was a joke. Everyone dissociates in their lifetime. That was a really bad joke. I should stop. Oh my god. We get like this. Such a problem. I have a real point. I swear. Let me get to my point and then I'll stop talking. I swear. My point is, one, personalities are all real, regardless of how many you have in one body, because all of our personalities is in one body. With that being said, with any disorder or any condition that involves someone having more than one personality, it is really interesting the way that our brains, make things be. And there's so many variables, like the kind of different personalities people can have within themselves is the same variability of like all the different kinds of personalities that exist in the world. And I did not, my brain might have in its own way created her as whatever the body felt was needed, but in general I did not create my girlfriend. I didn't consciously choose for her to exist. I didn't choose how she was going to exist. I didn't choose for it to be something that was a relationship initially. Like, I didn't choose anything, and she could have been anyone, because we tend to share really similar values, but a lot of people have different personalities and their values are completely different, and they have conflicting views, and sometimes they don't get along, and sometimes they don't have your best interest at heart, or if they do have it, the way that they try to express that is a different way than you. And there's just so many different things, and I'm so lucky that Honey is the person that she is. And it's still weird using the name. I'm not quite used to it yet, but I mean, I just haven't had a reason to use it. But like, I mean, she's a person, and it's crazy. It's absolutely mind-boggling to me that she even exists. I don't know how she exists. I don't know how someone that is that calm and rational and helpful and optimistic and hopeful and strong and brave and just incredible. I don't know how someone like that exists in my head, because I am not a lot of those things. I'm not optimistic. I'm not hopeful. I'm the opposite of a lot of that. So I don't even know how it's possible for my brain to, be a home for someone like her, but I'm very lucky. And, I'm just very lucky, and we're both working really hard to be better and get through the whole depression thing. I mean, you never really get through it, but we're obviously in a rough patch, and I'm trying to fix that. But I don't know. I'm very grateful. At least it's her, you know. So I guess that's it. But we're fine. I'm still gonna be probably kind of vacant on social media. I'm still very behind on working on things. I have so much work to do. And there's been some days where like I just really, really can't do anything other than kind of like sleep and then like lie down, look at something on my computer, but no actual movement, nothing productive. Um, so I'm behind on things, and I've been less talkative, and I apologize, but I'm getting to being back into it, and doing stuff like this was fun. We love ranting about people sharing extremely harmful opinions on social media in the blink of an eye, who has large followings and could influence a whole group of people very, very quickly with their misguided opinions. We love that. So, oh God, I think I better really, really, I think I better really stop talking. But, I guess that's it. You know what the worst thing is? And again, this is not just DID, because I can't speak for people who have DID because I don't have it, and I know that it's much more complex than obviously what I experience. But like anything that involves having more than one personality, like obviously, yeah, there's parts of that is like, and again, not even for me personally, but like for people with DID, for example, there are parts of it that can be scary or difficult and very challenging, and it can make life harder in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways it makes your life easier because those different, parts of your brain exist to help you. That's why they were created in the first place, and that's awesome. Like, it's just awesome. It sucks. It's not a happy thing. It sucks that someone would ever be in such a dire, traumatic situation, especially if it's in, in childhood. DID, it kind of isn't a requirement that it develops in childhood. So it's crazy. It sucks. It's not happy that, children would be put through such awful things that they would have to develop these different personality states. But the fact that, our brains do that, that's cool. So it's not a bad thing. And when people talk about it and they make videos like the one she made, it's just so dumb. Like, the whole, like, it's so scary. Like, it's just so scary for me. And I mean, not that it can't be scary, but coming out and your first time speaking about it is just talking about how scary it is and how, it's so bad. These authors come out and they make me do these things, which, by the way, huge lack of system accountability, but we're not even getting into that right now. But like, because that's just not all that it is. Like, it's not always that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be like a sad, traumatic, miserable thing all the time. Those disorders stem from trauma, but that doesn't make the disorders themselves inherently traumatic. That happens. It's a coping mechanism, and and that's it. So that's all I had to say. I hope that more people, since this happened, will actually go out of their way to watch people like Dissociate did, who honestly at this point is like the number one channel in my opinion. I know Multiplicity and Me is extremely popular. I don't watch them, but I know that they are. I think they're probably about equally as big. the entropy system. Recommend them. Team Pinata is incredible. I love the relationship and the dynamic between the dissociated system and Team Pinata. I mean, just awesome. Just so cute. I stand them very hard. I love both their systems together. So go watch real people with DID. Not that. Oh, see, that sounded bad. That made it sound like. Regardless of if Trisha Paytas has it or not, who cares? Go watch real experienced people who know about DID. Watch their videos. Go to Team Pinata is great for like day-to-day life content and like raw stuff, and Dissociated is really good with that scientific hard fact educational content. The entropy system is really good. I think it's a great mix of both. And like go learn something. I think it's so interesting. I'm fascinated by everything, and I'm still fascinated by myself, and it's been well over half a decade, and I find myself fascinating. Ever since I was a little kid, I record everything. I don't know why. That's come in handy in my life. There's been some instances which one day in the future this year, could be months and months from now, but one day a lot of that'll come to light. But my whole life I've recorded things, and I've just got hours and hours, probably days worth of hours of footage of me and my girlfriend speaking or, on camera together. And anytime there's a moment that I think is important, if it's not going to like ruin the moment, I'll record it. And, seeing it is fascinating to me. And I love it, but I'm obviously very biased. It's all very convenient that my partner is so wonderful, and I think that's part of why I've struggled a lot with coming to terms with the fact that she is real and accepting it for what it is, because the way it all worked out is very convenient. It's very convenient that I just happen to have developed a different personality state that exists in the same body as me, that just happens to think the opposite of what I think. I think I'm ugly, and she just happens to think that I'm beautiful or nice or whatever. I think I'm worthless, and she just happens to think I have value, and I don't see the good in a lot of things, and she does. It's all very convenient how it worked out that way, but, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. So, you know. But it is most of the time. She deserves some love. If y'all don't know us, first of all, how'd you find this? No one's seeing this if they don't know us, unless you search for Trisha Paytas. But if you don't know us, I'm Always Drawing on Twitter. She's only half of her on Twitter. Her name is Honey. Please go give Honey some love. Jesus Christ, guys. Jesus Christ. She works so hard to keep this body running. So much of what happens in my life is because of her, and people don't even know. Like, so many times I've been working on a drawing, and like I've been stuck on it, and I didn't think I could finish it because I just hated it, and she was the reason it got finished, because she thought of ways to fix it and kept it going. Or I'll be like talking to someone, and I'll like come up with a really good idea, and it was her idea and I didn't think of it. There's just things like that. Like, and so many days where like I can't do something, but somehow, she'll get it done. She'll find a way to make us get it done. And she works hard, and all she's ever done is help me, and she just deserves some love, man. Fuck. She's in this game alone, man. She's not alone now. I'm so glad that we've decided to be open on social media, because we've got at least a good few friends now who are really, truly friends with both of us. And I'm so grateful for our friends who love her too, because, because she deserves love, man. She deserves love. Someone give her some love, Jesus. I'll go give her some love. So why am I asking someone else to do it? I can do it, so I'm gonna go do that. We're gonna go relax. I'm gonna go get a drink of water. I've been talking for almost an hour and my throat hurts. So we're gonna go drink something. I'm gonna go give her some head pats or something because she's earned it. Have a great day. Please keep your spirits up. Like I said, make sure you're going outside. If you have areas that you like can walk to, even if it's just around your neighborhood, or like if you live in an apartment complex or wherever, like if there's not anywhere, if there's not any people outside, if you're not in a crowded place, go outside, walk in nature. If you're an artist, try your best to keep creating. Keep putting stuff out there. I know it's tough for small businesses right now, but even if sales are not doing it right now, like the world needs some positivity. So I'm trying to get back into making art again. The depression makes it really hard, but trying to get back into that. So I'll be putting some things out hopefully in the near future. And what else? Take your vitamins, take your meds. Don't listen to Trisha Paytas, for fuck's sake, please. Listen to anyone else. Could give you a long list of people that you should listen to that aren't her. Please, anyone else. Anyone else. Please. Please don't listen to her. Please don't watch her videos about it either, unless it's purely for entertainment or like curiosity purposes. Please don't take any of the information that she gave, at least about the actual disorder itself, seriously. And check out Dissociated's Debunking DID series if you want some real information about what it actually is. And now, surely I've said everything I needed to say, so I guess it's time for me to head off. I hope you enjoyed me ranting. Pardon the mess that is my hair right now. Jesus Christ. So many problems. Life is so tough. 4 people? Why are there 4 people watching now? Dear. Go rewind. I'm getting off. I talked about her, I promise. But, anyway. Okay, I really gotta. This is what having mental health stuff is like, man. You can't just make a cohesive thought. Get offline. Get offline. I must go. Have a good day. Take care of yourselves, for fuck's sake. Everyone, just take care of yourselves. Please. Everything's gonna be fine. I hope.